Welcome back to the channel, where we break down everything you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys and the ever-evolving landscape of the NFL. Buckle up because today's news isn't just big, it's seismic. We're diving into a bombshell story that has completely rocked Cowboys Nation and sent ripple effects across the entire NFL. The kind of story that shakes locker rooms, flips fan sentiment on its head, and forces everyone, players, coaches, fans, and rivals alike, to re-evaluate everything they thought they knew about the Dallas Cowboys heading into this season. And if you thought the offseason was going to be quiet and predictable, think again. The Dallas Cowboys just made a move so bold, so unexpected, that it's already being called one of the most defining moments of the team's recent history. That's not hyperbole, that's the real-time reaction of analysts, insiders, and fans alike who are still trying to wrap their heads around what just happened. In a decision that's been described as nothing short of shocking, the Dallas Cowboys have officially cut ties with a prominent star player, someone deeply woven into the fabric of the team, someone whose name carries serious weight in the NFL. This isn't just a rotation piece or a depth chart shuffle. This is a foundational player, the kind of athlete you build game plans around, the kind of leader you look to in the fourth quarter when everything's on the line. And now, just like that, he's out. Gone. Off the roster. Released by none other than Jerry Jones himself. The timing? Absolutely stunning. The implications? Potentially massive. The decision, which insiders say had been quietly brewing behind closed doors, hit the public like a lightning bolt. One moment, fans were daydreaming about potential free agent additions, trade rumors, and the next phase of off-season conditioning. The next moment, news alerts lit up phones across the country announcing that the Cowboys had released one of their biggest names. Immediately, speculation began to swirl. Was it a salary cap move? Was this about chemistry in the locker room? Had something happened behind the scenes that pushed the organization to make such a dramatic cut before training camp had even started? Whatever the reason, it became crystal clear: the Cowboys are not waiting around to make tough decisions. They're doing it now, and they're doing it loudly. And it wasn't just the news itself that caught people off guard, it was the language used in the aftermath. Cowboys offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer didn't mince words when asked about the cut. In a press conference that's now being replayed across every major sports network, he said, "We're looking for players who are fully committed to the vision. It's not about names. It's about the work, the mindset, the fit. Talent only takes you so far. The rest is about trust and accountability." That statement, carefully crafted yet heavy with implication, left no doubt this wasn't just a football decision. This was a cultural decision. A values decision. A clear and deliberate pivot away from what was, and toward what the Cowboys leadership believes needs to be. Those comments instantly opened the floodgates of speculation. Some believed the player might have clashed with coaching staff. Others wondered whether his contract situation, possibly a looming extension or escalating cap hit, forced Jerry Jones to act sooner rather than later. And then there were those who suspected deeper issues, perhaps off-field conflicts or locker room disagreements that had been kept quiet until now. What's undeniable is that this wasn't just a personnel move, it was a statement. And it's one the rest of the roster heard loud and clear. When Jerry Jones himself stepped to the podium, there was no walking back the gravity of the decision. With his typical blend of showmanship and calculated leadership, Jones told the press, "We're in the business of winning championships. Every decision we make is aimed at putting the Dallas Cowboys in the best position to win this year and beyond. This move wasn't easy, but it was necessary. We have to be bold." And bold he was. The press, as expected, pounced on every word. But Jones didn't flinch. He stood behind the decision with the kind of resolve you only see from someone who believes they're acting in the best long-term interest of their organization. Controversy be damned. Still, despite all the official statements and media appearances, much of the conversation remains centered around what really went down behind the scenes. Multiple sources close to the organization have hinted that tensions had been simmering for some time. While many inside the locker room saw the player as a vocal leader, others viewed him as increasingly self-focused, a shift in attitude that reportedly didn't sit well with some members of the coaching staff. Combined with what appears to have been escalating contract demands, the writing was on the wall. A split was coming. And when it did, it hit hard. The NFL community didn't waste time reacting. Within hours, major analysts like Ian Rappaport and ESPN's Mina Kimes were offering their takes. Rappaport called it one of the gutsiest offseason moves we've seen from Dallas in recent years, while Kimes described it as a culture-defining moment. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about alignment. Former players weighed in too, some expressing shock, others offering support for the Cowboys' decision to draw a line in the sand. The move ignited debates across studios, podcasts, social media platforms, you name it. Everywhere you looked, people were talking about the Cowboys. And let's talk about the fans, because their reactions have been nothing short of electric. Some are applauding the move, saying it's about time the Cowboys prioritized culture and accountability over legacy and sentiment. They believe this decision sends a message to the rest of the team that no one, no matter how big their name or how long their tenure, is safe if they're not all in. Others, however, are heartbroken. For them, this player wasn't just a jersey number on the field, he was a symbol of Cowboys football, a hard-nosed competitor who left it all out there every Sunday. Social media is now filled with tribute posts, video highlights, and emotional messages mourning the end of an era. Inside the locker room, the fallout is still being processed. According to team insiders, team captain Dak Prescott took it upon himself to gather the offensive unit shortly after the announcement and spoke candidly to the group. His message was simple, but powerful: stay locked in, trust the process, and remember what we're building here. It was the kind of leadership moment that defines franchises not just because of what was said, but because of who said it and when. Brian Schottenheimer, meanwhile, hasn't backed down from the stance he took in his earlier comments. In fact, he's doubled down, reiterating that the Cowboys are building something different this year. Every team talks about culture, he said, but not every team enforces it. We want guys who want to be Cowboys, not just wear the uniform, but earn it every day. That kind of tough talk isn't common in these kinds of pressers. It signals something deeper is going on. A philosophical shift. A recalibration of what it means to be part of this franchise. And now, the speculation machine is revving up. Could this move have been part of a larger plan? Is this about clearing cap space for a major acquisition? Already, rumors are starting to circulate about potential trade targets or free agents who could help fill the void left by the departed star. Some names are being floated: veteran defensive pieces, experienced offensive linemen, even high-profile wide receivers to line up opposite CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys front office hasn't confirmed any of this, of course. But when you make a move this significant, the assumption is that you're not done yet. It's worth noting that the Cowboys have long been known for dominating headlines during the offseason. But this time, something feels different. There's an edge to the organization right now, a sense of urgency that hasn't always been there in years past. After back-to-back playoff exits and mounting questions about whether this roster has what it takes to compete at the highest level, it's clear that Jerry Jones is no longer interested in incremental improvements. He wants to win, and win now. The timing of the move is also crucial. With the NFL draft recently concluded and organized team activities already underway, most teams are settling into their off-season routines. But not Dallas. They're still tinkering. Still reshaping. Still holding everyone accountable. By making this decision now, the Cowboys are sending a crystal clear message: there are no sacred cows here. If you're not part of the solution, you're not going to be part of the team. Period. That raises a critical question: who steps up next? With a massive hole now left in the depth chart, and potentially in the locker room, the pressure is on for younger players to rise to the occasion. The coaching staff will now have their hands full evaluating talent and determining who's ready for the spotlight. And make no mistake, these next few months leading into training camp are going to be some of the most scrutinized of the Mike McCarthy era. Every rep, every drill, every personnel decision. It all matters now more than ever. Critics, of course, are already circling. Some are accusing Jerry Jones of once again overstepping, of trying to play puppet master instead of letting the football minds do their job. Others are concerned this could backfire, particularly if the released player signs with a rival team and excels. We've seen it before, athletes cut under controversial circumstances only to come back with a vengeance in a different jersey, ready to prove everyone wrong. If that happens here, it could turn into a nightmare for Dallas. There's also a deeper, longer-term implication at play here. What kind of precedent does this set? Will other veteran players, especially those with big contracts or strong personalities, now find themselves under the microscope? Could this move signal the beginning of a broader culture purge? Only time will tell. But what's already obvious is that this was not a one-off decision. This is part of a larger organizational strategy. And it's one that will be closely watched by every other team in the league. At the end of the day, this is about more than just one player. This is about identity, direction, accountability. This is about sending a message to every single person wearing that star on their helmet that it's no longer enough to just be talented or popular. You have to be committed. You have to buy in. You have to be part of the vision. And if you're not, there's the door. For fans, this moment is filled with emotion, anger, confusion, excitement, hope. It's all swirling together right now as Cowboys Nation tries to make sense of what just happened and what comes next. The only thing that's certain is that this season just got a whole lot more interesting. The stakes are higher. The expectations are louder. And the spotlight? Well, it's never really left Dallas, has it? So whether this move ends up being the spark that ignites a Super Bowl run or the first domino in a series of unraveling events, one thing's for sure, the Dallas Cowboys have made their intentions clear. This is about championships. This is about legacy. And if that means making the hard choices now to build the right team later, so be it. Because in Jerry Jones' world, no headline is too big, and no move is too bold. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this massive decision by the Cowboys. Are you heartbroken? Fired up? Somewhere in between? I want to hear your take. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking update on the Dallas Cowboys. This offseason just got a lot more intense. Stay tuned, because we're going to be right here bringing you every twist and turn.